The banquet hall glowed that night with golden chandeliers, laughter, and the soft clinking of champagne glasses. My promotion had finally come, after years of late nights, missed vacations, and endless sacrifices. I had fought tooth and nail for that moment, and the pride swelling inside me was like a tide. Colleagues congratulated me. Friends raised their glasses, and my wife, Anna, smiled at me with that gentle look that once made me believe the world was perfect, but perfection shattered in a single moment. Her mother, Margaret, stern-faced, towering in a gown that glittered like a warning, suddenly stood from her seat. The room grew quiet, as if the walls themselves were waiting for her words. She lifted her glass, but instead of a toast, her voice carried sharp and cold across the crowd. "From today on," she said, eyes locked on me, "you will hand over your entire $9,000 salary and every bonus. If you refuse, walk out of this party right now." The laughter vanished. Forks clinked against plates in uneasy hands. My chest tightened. My heart froze as though a knife of ice had slid straight into it. I looked at Anna, searching for some sign. Maybe a laugh, maybe a protest, maybe her telling her mother she had gone too far. Instead, she avoided my gaze, her head tilted low, fingers wrapped tightly around her wine glass as if it anchored her to this betrayal. "Is this some kind of joke?" I asked, my voice trembling but louder than I intended. Margaret's lips curled into a half-smile that was anything but warm. "This is no joke. You're part of our family now. Everything you earn, everything you build, it belongs to us. If you're a man worth standing beside my daughter, you'll hand it over. If not, there's a door." Gasps rippled around the tables. My boss, seated nearby, shifted uncomfortably. Friends exchanged glances. My own father looked at me with wide eyes, as if silently urging me not to let pride twist into something irreparable. I turned back to Anna. "Tell me you don't agree with this." I whispered, desperate. She didn't. She couldn't. She only stared at the tablecloth, silent, like my heart wasn't breaking right in front of her. And in that silence, I understood. This wasn't just Margaret's cruelty. It was a plan, one that Anna had allowed to grow in the shadows of our marriage. Memories reeled back at me. The small hesitations when I mentioned saving for a home of our own, the way she insisted we consult her mother before big purchases, the countless dinners where Margaret's voice filled a room while mine was drowned out. I had told myself it was just family closeness. I had ignored the unease, blind because I loved her. Now the truth was cutting, merciless. I had been building not for us, but for them. "Answer me, Anna," I said, my voice cracking with desperation. She finally looked up, but her eyes were cold, like glass reflecting nothing. "This is how it should be," she said softly, almost gently, but with a finality that shattered me more than shouting ever could. The floor felt like it was sliding away. I thought of the late nights I had worked, the stress I had endured, the moments I consoled myself with the thought that Anna was by my side, cheering me on. All of it had been for her, for us, or so I thought. Now, in front of the people I had invited to celebrate the most important step of my career, I was being stripped of dignity, love, and trust. I wanted to scream. I wanted to rage, to tell Margaret that she could choke on her arrogance, to demand that Anna choose me or her mother. But standing there, I realized something heavier. If she had already chosen once, she would choose again. The betrayal was not in her silence tonight. It was in every silence that had come before. The hall buzzed with whispers now, eyes piercing into me like daggers of pity. I stood straighter, my jaw trembling but locked in place. "I won't hand over a cent," I said, voice steady though my hands shook. "And if that means leaving, then so be it." Margaret smirked, raising her glass again as though she had already won. "Then leave," she said. I turned to Anna one last time, giving her the chance to prove me wrong, to show some spark of the woman I thought I knew. But she only set her glass down with care, her silence the loudest betrayal of all. So I walked out, past the stunned faces, past the friends too polite to stop me, past the colleagues who would whisper about this for years. Each step felt heavier, yet also lighter, as if the chains I hadn't realized were around me were finally breaking. Outside, the night air was cool against my burning skin. The neon lights of the city flickered, indifferent to the collapse of my world. My phone buzzed with messages, but I couldn't bring myself to look. I thought of the vows we had spoken, the promises whispered in the dark, and realized they were ashes now, scattered by the wind of her mother's command and her own silent compliance. What hurt the most wasn't losing money or pride or even reputation. It was losing belief that Anna had ever truly been mine, that our love had been a shared dream, not a carefully woven illusion. And though I walked away with nothing that night, I carried with me a hard and bitter truth. Sometimes betrayal doesn't come in screams or knives, but in silence, in the quiet nods, the averted eyes, the complicit smiles. That night, under the indifferent stars, I vowed never again to confuse love with chains or family with ownership. I had been tested, broken, and betrayed, but I was free. And freedom, though it came wrapped in pain, was the only gift left for me to claim.